Good evening. My name is Megan Levis, and I'm here to present to you a leadership book review on It Worked for Me in Life and Leadership by Colin Powell. It Worked for Me in Life and Leadership was written by Colin Powell with Tony Koltz. Colin Powell is a retired four-star general in the United States Army. However, he's unique in that he did not graduate from one of the typical officer-producing universities within the United States. He earned his degree from the Community College of New York, and he has served underneath four different presidential administrations, including Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton, and George W. Bush. He is also unique in the fact that he was born to immigrant parents, and they immigrated here, and he's a U.S.-born citizen, and he struggled to attain all of his achievements, and he found that working hard and keeping focus on the goal helped him succeed in life. Tony Koltz, who is the co-author of this book, is an author well known for co-authoring the memoirs of multiple other generals from the United States. The purpose of this book is to discuss the effective principles of leadership. Colin Powell describes these as not only tips to be a successful leader, but also his life lessons that other developing leaders could benefit from. Throughout this book, Colin Powell consistently demonstrates his keys to success were conviction, hard work, and respect for others. Powell clearly practices what he preaches and holds tight his personal beliefs even when they may be in question. He values dedication and hard work and believes you will achieve what you work hard for. Above anything else, he believes in respect for others. He provides multiple examples throughout the book of how he desires to be treated as a common man and not of one of celebrity status or of a higher power. He also provides many examples of the importance of treating every individual as though they are important members of the team. This book is targeted towards leaders of all varieties, formal and informal, newly developing, or those with a great deal of experience. There are useful morsels of information throughout this book that can be used no matter what level of experience as a leader you may have. There are many strengths throughout this book. One of them is the numerous examples of Powell's leadership style. These are practical, down-to-earth examples which, with minimal effort, one could easily envision themselves using as a leader throughout any organization. This book is of average length, and it's easy to read. Its chapters are short, and that makes it easy to put down, come back to, and not feel like you have lost your place in the book. Many of the stories that are told by Colin Powell in this book have a bit of lighthearted humor to them. However, the point he is suggesting to do or not to do is still evident. The humor does not make you lose sight of the information he's trying to present to you. Within this book, one will find two lists created by Colin Powell or his staff over his years as a leader. Both lists, How to Survive as My Aide, What Not to Do, and My 13 Rules, are easy to garner useful tidbits which could be modified into their own unique style and success story as any leader develops throughout their leaderships over the years. At the same time, we must recognize that this book also has a fair share of shortcomings. The first being that Colin Powell's leadership experience, many of the examples that he uses are military focused because of his background. And if one has minimal experience or exposure to the military, it may be challenging to translate these examples into methods that they could use themselves within their own organization. Most of these examples will require individual creativity, which could be seen as another challenge. So they can be practically applied within your workplace if you take the time to uniquely analyze them and figure out a way to implement them successfully with your creativity. Lastly, the Powell Doctrine, which is an entire chapter in the book, was very military focused and extremely challenging to perceive this being utilized in another way unrelated to the military. Therefore, this chapter may not be practically applied for the large majority of the audience who's reading this book. However, that is only one chapter of what is overall a very well-written book. As for my recommendations, I would recommend this book for any leader, whether they're a developing leader or an experienced leader. As a developing leader, it provides guidance as to what it takes to become a successful leader and provides insight as to what may not work so well. For an experienced leader, it may allow one to be introspective, analyze their own performance, and make modifications. It provides them with the opportunity to further develop their leadership style. The one caveat to this recommendation is that I feel that without at least minimal knowledge of how the military functions, one would find this book challenging to be put into useful implementation. Someone without any exposure would find the military references challenging to adapt to another format. In summary, I feel that this book was successful in discussing and sharing effective leadership strategies. The suggestions made throughout the book are a nice blend of items that could be implemented immediately and those that could be further developed and implemented eventually. When someone feels as though they cannot implement any of the suggestions throughout this book, I would challenge them to think creatively and outside the box, because the suggestions need to be individualized, and once individualized, I feel that they could assist anyone with being a successful leader following these leadership strategies. At this time, I would like to thank you for listening to this presentation and would be happy to address any questions anyone in the audience may have.